Another important tool in your React arsenal are so-called error boundaries, which let you encapsulate parts of your app so that when errors happen inside that chunk of your app, they get nicely processed and display an error message or something like that. The reason that's important is because with React 16, they changed the behavior so that when an error happens anywhere in your React component tree, React will unmount everything. Let's say you have these two components, right? Toothpaste and cap. When you try to put them together, there's an error. So React says, whoa, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to render something incorrectly. So it unmounts your entire component tree and your whole app fails. But if you're doing that inside a glass, it's going to say, oh, okay, there's an error inside the glass, but I can still render everything around the glass. I can render Swizzets holding the glass. I can render Swizzets talking into the camera. But anything inside the glass gets broken and says, hey, there's an error here. So yeah, you can think of error boundaries as encapsulation for parts of your app so that you can nicely handle errors. Let's check out what that looks like in code. Now the trick about error boundaries is that they can only capture errors in their children, they cannot capture errors in themselves, and they can't capture errors in anything that's asynchronous, so no timeouts, no event handlers even. We're going to make a generic error boundary component, and then we're going to make a component that causes an error in itself, class-based component. We're going to keep error state in our state because that's how we're going to know, oh hey, there's been an error, we have to re-render and show the error message. To make this error boundary actually catch our errors, we use the component did catch this set state and we set error and error info. To make a simple counter, after we click it a couple times, it's going to throw an error. We now have a counter here, click, there's been an error and everything washed out. Because we're in Create React App, we got this nice error message from Create React App, but otherwise our entire component tree unmounted. We wrap this, so we can now see that when an error happens, it says something went wrong. Create React App takes over and shows us the nicer error. You can also see that we can console log all of our error info and get some more information.